ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। 64. बोधक्रमो बुभुत्सूनां विस्पष्टमभिधीयते। चतुर्दिक्ष्वध ऊर्ध्वं च भूमा बोद्धव्य आदितः। Upanishad Chandogya is giving 3 modes of teaching to discover what Bhuma is. First, what is Bhuma was explained. The direct cognition, the Sakshatkara, is inevitable, otherwise called as Aparoksha Anubhuti or Aparoksha Jnana, is inevitable. How it can be gained, for which 3 modes of teaching are given. One is, what is it? Bhumadesha. Territory-wise, everywhere there is nothing but Bhuma. If you say everything, everywhere there is Bhuma, it gives a notion, I am there and there is everything else is what? Bhuma. I am different from Bhuma. That is not correct. That Bhuma is verily me. The second mode of teaching is what? Ahankaradeshaha. Whatever you term as I itself is Bhuma. But in our practice, Ahankara means the embodiment as I. How it can be Bhuma? For that, to remove that notion, further, Atmadeshaha. That I is not that erroneous, wrong notion that the embodiment is I. Chaitanya Rupa, Chit Sarupa itself as I, Atmadeshaha. These 3 modes of teaching are employed in the mantra of Chandogya, though these words are not mentioned. It is the greatness of Vidyaranya Muni to analyze and present in an easy manner. This is how the teaching is proceeding. Anvaya we have seen first what is Bhumadesha. First he introduces the 3 modes and then, of course, he is not giving the name as such, but the Bodhakrama he refers to. And first the Bhumadesha. We have seen the Anvaya. Bhuvutsunam Shrutau Bodhakramaha Vispashtam Abhidhiyat. For those who are Bhuvutsus, Bodhum Ichchu, otherwise called as Jidnyasuhu, Jnatum Ichchu, Jidnyasu, Jnatum Ichchu. Because others will not be able to make use of that unless that yearning is there, until earnest desire to know what my Swarupa is. This teaching is not going to help, and therefore he must be a Bhuvutsu, Jidnyasu. In a way, everyone is Mumukshu. You know? Who is Mumukshu? Moktum Ichchu. You may say, we don't know what is moksha at all. How are you telling? Not you, of course. Some may say, who doesn't want to get freed from sorrow? Is there anyone? Everyone wants to get freed from sorrow and pain, is it not? Moktum Ichchu. And everyone should have happiness. That is what it is. So, in a way, of course, in Vedantic parlance, Mumukshu is the one who wants to know Atma Sarupa. For that, Jidnyasu is a better word. Everyone is Mumukshu is one way of looking at it, okay? Not that absolute way as such. One way of looking. Everyone wants to get freed from sorrow. But here is a person who has discerned the problem. Everyone puts forth efforts to get freed from sorrow and acquire joy. Whether he succeeds or she succeeds or not, it is a big question mark. But here is a person who, based on Shastras, have analyzed what even the best that this world can offer cannot make me really happy and contented. Finally, the solution lies in knowing what am I, what is the basis of the Jagat, what is this Bhagavat Tattva, which in all three, one and the same principle underlies. So that has to be discovered. One who is desirous of that is called a Jidnyasu or Bubhutsuhu. So that for which certain maturity of the mind is necessary. So Bubhutsu, now for such a person, like that of who? Whose example is here? In Narada, not an ordinary one, past master in all the Vidyas. You have seen his accomplished academic career, So how much he would have earned had he made use of only one of the Vidyas that he has mastered. Till he could discover, in spite of all this, Shoka Tarana is not possible. That is why he approaches who? Sanat Kumara, because he had heard somewhere, Tarati Shokam Atmavit. One who knows one's Swarupa certainly gets freed from Shoka. So he approaches such Bubhutsu, who mean business as far as the ultimate goal of life is concerned. So, Bodha Kramaha, orderly teaching. What type of orderly teaching? First, Bhumadesha, then Ahankaradesha, third, Atmadesha, graded teaching, Bodha Kramaha. Vispashtam Abhidhiyate is very clearly given in the Chandogya Upanishad in this particular 7th chapter, Sanat Kumara Vidya. First of them, Bhumadesha, is now explained. Aditaha, in the beginning, what we find is, there we have added, Adhyara, Bhumadeshena, Chaturdikshu, Adha, Urdhvam cha, Bhuma eva, Asti iti bodhavyaha. In the beginning, one should know that in all four directions means 8 directions, all the directions. So, what is there? Only Bhuma is there. The mantra portion we had seen. Sa eva adhastat, sa uparishtat, sa paschat, sa purastat, sa dakshinataha, sa uttarataha, sa eva idam sarvam. Everywhere there is nothing but Bhuma only. That is now explained here. Aditaha. That is among these 3 modes of teaching. First of all, by Bhumadeshena, by this teaching of Bhuma. Here Bhuma is what? I have told 2 meanings of Bhuma. Here Bhuma, that Bhuma is neuter, means territory wise. Otherwise the main teaching Bhuma is what? That is masculine word, that is limitless. So here Bhumadeshana means by the Bhuman being neuter, the territory wide means everywhere as such. Bhumadeshana, what is done? Chaturdikshu, in 4 quarters, means all the quarters. So, Adhaha, below, Urdhvam, above, Cha, Bhuma, Eva, Asti. What is there is only? Below, above is Upalakshana, indication for all the directions. So, Bhuma, Eva, Bodhavya. Bhuma, Eva, Asti, iti Bodhavya. What is there is only? Bhuma only. So, what does it mean now? Everywhere in the creation, what is there is? Bhuma. Any question? How is it? You accept? Bhuma देखा ही नहीं है और सब जग भूमा है बोलता है. What you see is my neighbor with a rascal, and other fellow whom I love, other thing which gives me torture. So like this we see, how do you say Bhuma is there? So Vidyaranya takes pity. Even though you have not asked or you have no courage to ask, so Vidyaranya says, so better it is clarified. So therefore he says, how everywhere is Bhuma. So, in the entire creation, do you perceive, do you cognize these 3 aspects? Is existence, no knowledge principle. Third one is Ananda. Is it there or not? This pertains to Bhuma. And it is in anything and everything in the entire creation. Let us see now. That is being shown. So that everywhere Bhuma is there is being established now. Before that, Satta Bhava Pritayotra, that word changed to Na. Mistake is there. Satta Bhana Pritayotra. Take the stanza. Satta Bhana Pritayotra Vikshante Sarvavastushu. Satchidananda Rupoto Bhuma Sarvatra Tishtati. Atra Anvaya Atra Sarvavastushu Satta Bhana Pritayaha Vikshante. Add Bhumacha Satchidananda Rupaha. Ataha Bhuma Sarvatra Tishtati. Add Iti Bodhyam. Atra, here. Putra. You know what is Putra? Where? He says Atra, here. My question is where, not Ramnati only. Okay. Asmin Jagati. In this entire creation, and creation means not simply our earth, entire cosmos. So therefore, in this entire cosmos, in this creation, Srishti, that's so Atra here in this creation, is Asmin Jagati. He says, Sarva Vastushu. In all things means in all objects, in all beings, in all events. Things which can signify anything. In all things means in all objects, beings and events, in everything, sarvastushu. He says these three are conceived, these three are perceived, or these three are known to be present. What are those? Satta, existence. Bhana, knowledge principle. Priti, Priti, because of Satta, Bhana, along with that plural becomes Pritayaha. So, Priti, that is Priyam, Ananda. These three are invariably there in anything and everything that is there in the creation. This I need not further elaborate. Why? You are supposed to know which text. Dhruk, Drishya, Viveka. If not known, read my commentary, okay? My job will be easy. Asti bhati priyam upam nama chetyansha panchakam adyatrayam brahma rupam jagad rupam tatodvayam. Analyze the entire world. So what are there? Five aspects are there. What are those five aspects? Asti is, Bhati, known, Priyam, Ananda, Nama, name, Rupa, form. Adyatrayam, earlier three are what? Brahma Rupam, Jagad Rupam, Tatahadvayam. Last two, Nama Rupa is what? Jagad. Existence aspect is everywhere perceived, no doubt for anyone. Is. Whatever is not also is what? Is how? Absence of that you conceive, you perceive, is known. Asti. Bhana, bhati, knowledge principle, to begin with it appears as though it is not everywhere. Only where there is sachetanata, sentiency, it appears to be there. It doesn't mean that it is not there. Where sachetanata is there, it is because of the presence of sukshma sharira. But chit aspect, sat, existence, chit, knowledge aspect is everywhere. Just like light is everywhere. But you can see the light where some reflecting surface is there. There light cannot be seen We can see only reflected light. That is what physics has shown us. So, likewise, the bare Chaitanya Chit aspect, knowledge aspect, cannot be known unless it is reflected. What is the reflecting medium? Antakarna, our psyche, mana buddhi ahankara, chitta, constituted of the Pancha Mahabhuta before grossification, that provides a reflecting surface, as it were, wherein the Chit aspect can be cognized. That is why, though the Chaitanya Swarupa Chit is all pervasive, in the creation we get two divisions. Jada, Sachetana. We are Jada or Sachetana? Sure. So we are living. So, but suppose a person is dead. Jada. How? Chaitanya everywhere, Chit is everywhere. Why? That Sukh Sharira containing Antakarna has left the body. See, electricity is everywhere. But you put off the switch, what happens? It is not available for manifestation. But the current is there in the line. It is there in the line. But it is not available. Like that, this Suksha Sharira, subtle body, is like a switch. But this switch is at your disposal. You can put on, put off when you want and when you don't want. But Bhagavan is very clever. Okay? He has not given this switch at your disposal. Which switch? Sukshma Sharira, switch in the gross body, Stula Sharira, it is not at our disposal. It is operated by remote control by Bhagavan himself. I mean, how is it possible? How many living beings are there? How he can handle all these things? He need not handle. That is why Bhagavan. You know why? Just by presence, take this. Have you seen Lord Vishnu? How he is reclining on what? Adishesha. What is he doing? How are his eyes? Closed. So if we close the eyes, this fellow is sleeping in the class. And where Bhagavan Vishnu what? Yoga Nidra, we say. And you know what is the job of Bhagavan Vishnu? Sustenance, maintenance of not simply Ramnathi or anything else, of entire cosmos. If you were given a project to look after, you will have to keep compose and hypertension tablets with you. But Vishnu is what? High. Why? He is the real boss. Because why? Who is the boss? Not who runs after the assistants and do this, do this. He is the supervisor. Who is the boss? Who sits there and everything takes place. You know, suppose the top boss in the office, if he is out, cat is out, rats are enjoying. But the boss is coming, tack, 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 what? Only the sound of the boot is heard, and what happens? Everybody buries the head in the file, all computers and typewriters start swinging into action, everybody there. That is the boss. Just by presence who activates everyone. That is what Vishnu. So just by presence what? He takes care of the sthiti. Sthiti, the sustenance of that. So that is how, otherwise, so that is how, now what this Lord has done, this Suksha Sharira, switch, he has not kept at our disposal. And there is no question of putting off. When its job in a gross body is over, the switch itself will be plucked up and planted, transplanted in next embodiment, that is in accordance with the karma phala, yatha karma, yatha shrutam. And we say this earlier embodiment is dead. That is what marana. Death is nothing but separation of Sukh Sharira from the specific Sthula Sharira when the prarabdha karma of that specific individual in that particular embodiment is over. So this is what is there. So therefore, so in that, that means where the Sukh Sharira is there, what is there? Bhana is available. Bhana is available. Otherwise, Chaitanya Rupa is knowledge principle is everywhere. Priyam. These are little still more difficult. Priyam is there in everything. See, the stanza doesn't say you are able to experience joy, Priyam, happiness everywhere. It only says, it means even in sorrow there is Ananda, which is very difficult to understand. For more, you can see in the Dridashaveka commentary, but I will just passingly touch to it. Sorrow, you do know or not, it is there. You are suffering the sorrow, is it not? How do you experience the sorrow? Any experience without Chaitanya, is it ever possible? You are experiencing sorrow. Presupposes you are aware of sorrow, you know sorrow, you are experiencing sorrow, which is on account of what? Chaitanya presented to us through the thought patterns, corresponding thought patterns. That Chaitanya itself is what? Ananda Swarupa. If you have doubt, in sleep you can verify. The Ananda that you experience in sleep is what? The Swarupa Ananda. Unfortunately, Ajnana is there. In the case that sorrow is what? Experience. Sorrow doesn't belong to Chaitanya. Sorrow exclusively belongs to Antakarna. That is why when you are asleep in deep sleep state, there is no trace of sorrow. Even the person may be a one who is suffering, and that means a very incurable disease with an excruciating pain, if at all the person is sleeping. Why? Antakarna is not functioning. Antakarna functions in the waking and dream state. We are liable to be sorrowful. We may or may not be, but we are prone to be sorrowful. So even the neuroscience has proved that in sleep, certain part of the brain, old brain, limbic system, etc., these don't function. Their job otherwise in the waking state is, when the perception comes, processing them in reactions, joy, pain, not joy, pain, or insult, dishonor, dishonor, all these reactions are processed in that limbic system along with the oldest brain. So that is not functioning in the sleep, therefore no sorrows. That's so. That means sorrows belong to Antakarna, but the Swarupa is Ananda. That is what presence is said. And Nama Rupa is what? Jagat. So Nama means name, Rupa means not simply that can be seen by the eyes. Nature of a thing, let us say, sugar, that sweetness is Rupa. Neem leaf, that bitterness is Rupa, like that. Melodious sound, that melodiousness, that is what melody is what? That is the Rupa. So like that. So that is how these five are, here we are not concerned with the Nama Rupa. He says, Satta means Asti, Bhana, Bhati, Priyam, Priti, Priyam. Same thing otherwise called as what? Satta, Asti, that is Sat. Bhana, Bhati, that is Chit. Priti, Priyam, that is Ananda, Satchidananda. So these are Sarva Vastushu, Satta, Bhana, Pritayaha, Atra, Vikshanti. These are Vikshanti, Avagamyanti, are cognized. And what is Bhuma? Bhuma, that means in everything in the world, what is that? Sat, Chit, Ananda, refer to here as Satta, Bhana, Priti are there. That itself, that Satta, Bhana, Priti, which is otherwise called Satchid Ananda, that is Bhuma. Bhuma cha Satchidananda Rupaha. Ataha, therefore, the Bhuma is Satchidananda Rupa, and that is there in everything in terms of Satta, Bhana, Priti. Ataha, therefore, Bhuma Sarvatra Tishtati iti Bodhyam. One should know for certain that Bhuma is everywhere. That is what was told. Below, above, right, left, all that means front, back, all these things, that Bhuma is there. So, and not only that, because of this Bhuma only, everything is known, everything exists, and Ananda that is available is on account of Bhuma only. Here a doubt can be raised that why do you say the existence of everything is on account of Bhuma? All things can be known on their own. Why you bring Bhuma again here? They say no. You should be always Laghu, not Guru. Guru means not Guru Shishya, etc. Guru also means Laghu. Not Laghu. Guru means also heavy. Heavy. If weight is more, Guru. So, Laghu. So therefore, why that? It means some additional factor that on account of Bhuma, Chaitanya, everything is known. All things can be known on their own. If all things were, other day we have seen, if all things were to be able to know on their own, do you know what will happen? Carpets and chairs will start revolting because they will be experiencing your weight. First day as a guest, no, it may what concession it can be given, but not for a week as such. So that being the case, so he said, so that is now pointed out, no, entire Jagat is superimposed, adhyasta in Bhuma Satchidananda. Because of that, what happens? Existence, knowledge principle and Ananda is lent to the Jagat, but primarily where it is? In the Bhuma only. There. Why? Otherwise, Jagat is in earth. See, if water is luminous or non-luminous, Swaprakasha or Aprakasha? Aprakasha. Suppose from some water light is emerging. What does it mean? You kept a bucket of water outside in the sun got reflected, and then what? From angle, it went to a dark room, and the dark room is what? Lit. Is it not? Do you mean to say it is the nature of the light the nature of the water to emit light? No. But here it emits. Why? Reflected light, borrowed light. Likewise, embodiment, anything in the world is nothing but inert, including our body, not only body, mind, we have seen that in detail. But if our body appears to be Sachetana, if our mind appears to be Sachetana, it is the borrowed Chaitanya. It is inert by its nature. The experiment also was shown in the case of Shvetaketu. So, but if it is the borrowed Chaitanya, it is the reflected Chaitanya. That is why our body is what? Even minutest part of our body is what? Sentient, Sachetana, except the nails and the hair. Except nails and the hair. Do you know why? That Suksharira permeates the Suksharira. One of the constituent is what? Jnanendriyas, one of the constituents is what? Tlak. Sense of touch. Tlak. Sense of touch. Sense of touch. Sense of touch is all over the body except the hair and the nail. Not only externally, don't say skin, internally also. Suppose a cool glass of water is given to you and you drink. You have come from the scorching heat yesterday. A cool drink was given to you. So you are inside also you feel cool. On the contrary, a hot steaming cup of coffee, from throat on tongue and throat onwards, stomach also starts burning. Not that, not hot, chilly. What will happen? Everything starts burning. Means touch is inside. So it is a part of the Suksharira. Through that, Chidabhasa permeates the entire body. So that being the case, it says, now, that is, it is not on their own because of the borrowed Satchidananda of Bhuma. It pointed out, Bhumno viyoge vastuni naiva santi na bhanti cha. Bhumno viyoge vastuni naiva santi na bhanti cha. Priyatvam duratastesham sarvatmakastataha. Priyatvam duratastesham bhuma sarvatmakastataha. Bhumnaha viyoge vastuni na eva santi na cha bhanti. Na eva santi na cha bhanti. Tesham priyatvam durataha. Tesham priyatvam durataha. Tataha bhuma sarvatmakaha. Tataha bhuma sarvatmaka. When you are viyoga, sanyoga, viyoga. Sanyoga means what? Union. Viyoga means what? Separation. All want sanyoga or viyoga? Sanyoga. Careful. Not universally. Sanyoga or viyoga of what? That is important. Dukkha sanyoga. Dukkha viyoga you want. Sukha. Dukkha, sukha, sanyoga you want. You sukha viyoga you don't want. But life is what? What you want you have got viyoga, and what you don't want you have got sanyoga, and then what? We scream at ayyo samsara. Is it not? So therefore be careful, okay? Like that. It should be. They say if Vedanta can't give anything, at least it will give analytical mind. Not that Vedanta can't give. If Vedanta has failed to give, what does it mean? Introspect. That mind is not yet mature. I have not prepared myself. Vedanta can't fail. Do you know why? It is not something new thing, now modern craze. It is not something. It is a tested path from the beginning on. Narayanam Prabhuvam, from Lord Vishnu onwards up to us, the Guru Shishya Parampara. Or Sadashiva Samarambham. Don't make the Sadashiva and Narayana separated, etc. That is a very blasphemous thing. Hari Hara, never distinction should be made as such. So that is that. Other they have given the hierarchy. Parameshwara Tattva is one. It manifests first as what? Hiranyagarbha. Then Virat at the macrocosmic gross body level. Hiranyagarbha at the subtle body level. Virat, in that Virat, three prominent are Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Then other prominent devatas, etc. are there, including us, because we are part and parcel of what? Virat as such. So now this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they can be straight away invoked as what? Not even Hiranyagarbha, as the Parameshwara Tattva. For certain reason in our cultural practice as such, Brahma is not worshipped that much as such, but Vishnu and Shiva are worshipped. But if you confine Vishnu to Vaikuntha-adhipati and Shiva to Kailasa-adhipati, again you are reducing the Parameshwara Tattva to what? Presiding deity, Adhisthana Devata. Even Rama, Krishna, only if you make Ayodhyavasi Rama, Vrindavana Vihari, Krishna, without recognizing the Parameshwara Tattva, you are reducing to them what? Adhisthana Devata. Phala will be there, Punya Phala will be there. But the highest phala of discovering the truth that you are, that means the relation between you and Parameshwara, that will be sidetracked as such. So anyway, so therefore you say here, so the bhumnaha viyoge, separation. Separation here is means what? If you don't take into account this bhuma, if you discard, if you dismiss the bhuma aspect, Satchidananda aspect, you know what happens? Vastuni naiva santi. Nothing can exist. How? Morning meditation has seen. Sun is. How? You see with the eyes. Eyes report to the Antakarna. Antakarna takes the form of Surya. Suryakar Antakarnati. Inert. Illumined, made known by what? Chaitanya. That is what, not imagination. This is what is confirmed by Mundakopanishad, Kathopanishad. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Because that bha not physical light, that knowledge principle, everything is known after. So that being the case, so vastuni naiva santi, they don't exist, nacha bhanti, they cannot be cognized. This is same thing is called otherwise what? If Chaitanya were not there, actually it can't arise. Because Chaitanya is avikari, indestructible akshara. It always is. There is no birth, there is no death. But supposition, if it are not there, do you know what it means? Jagadandhyam prasajjita. Everything will be what? Stupor, which is not the case. Nabhanti cha. If existence and knowledge is not there, where is the question of cognizing Ananda? He says, if that Bhuma Viyoga means, if Bhuma is discarded or not taken into account, not that means is not there, Tesham Priyatvam Durataha. Tesham means what? Sarva Vastunam. Priyatvam, status of being Ananda there is what? Bahuduram means what? Far, far removed. Means it is just not possible. Therefore, Tesham Priyatvam Durataha. So, there. Means if Sattva and Bhana, existence and knowledge of a thing is not there, Priyatva cannot be cognized at all. So, therefore, Tataha Bhuma Sarvatmakaha. Bhuma is everything. That is what is that? Everywhere, Bhuma Desha. Territory-wise, everywhere, what is that? Bhuma. Now, this gives rise to a doubt possibly. Oh, other than me, everything is what? Everywhere, what is there? Bhuma is there. So, even when you say, all world, all this is world, when we say, what do? We keep a separate island of me. I am here, other than me, everything is world. If everyone starts saying that, there will be nothing left out as world, because all of us, for me, you are the part and parcel of the world, but I exclude myself. For you, what happens? Except you, you exclude everyone, including me also. You include me also, except you in the world. So not that way. Including us. See, we are also the part and parcel of the world. Even at the Hiranyagarbha level, our psyche is a part of Hiranyagarbha. Our body is a part of Virat. Without us, the entire Ishvara Tattva also will be incomplete. So, Tarvatma. So that means, if everything is Bhuma, I am separate, Bhuma is separate. So that is how it there. It is not so. That notion, wrong notion is removed by Ahankara Desha. Ahankara means as I here. Actually, it is not the erroneous notion that body etc. is I, but that doubt is possible, which will be cleared after in Atma Desha. So now, the wrong notion that this Jagat, which is different from me, is Bhuma, but I am different from Bhuma. So that wrong notion is now knocked off. Jagat Bhrantim Nivaryasya Tatastha Vinivruttaye. Jagat Bhrantim Nivaryasya Tatastha Vinivruttaye. Ahankarena Bhumanu Sandheya Sarva Dikshvasau. Ahankarena Bhumanu Sandheya Sarva Dikshvasau. Asya Jagat Bhrantim Nivarya Tatastha Vinivruttaye. Asau, last one, Sarva Dikshu Asau. Asau Bhuma Sarva Dikshu Ahankarena Anusandheyaha. Sarva Dikshu Ahankarena Anusandheyaha. Asya, of this means Bhumnaha, of this Bhuma. Jagat Bhrantim Nivarya. Jagat Bhrantim Nivarya means there is Bhuma, Jagat is different from Bhuma. That is removed. Why? Jagat is pointed out to be nothing but Bhuma. How do you say so? Asti Bhati Priya Satchidananda everywhere. Therefore Jagat is Satchidananda is Bhuma. So therefore that Jagat is distinct or different from Bhuma. This wrong notion having eliminated by Bhuma Desha, earlier mode of teaching. Now what is being done? It's of that Bhuma, Tatastha Vinivruttaye. Status of being Tatastha is called as what? Tatastha. What is this Tatastha? We know this word Tatastha. In parties, no, he is Tatastha. Doesn't belong to anyone. Tate Sthitaha Tatasthaha. Generally what? Bank, river, etc. is there. The tree is Tatastha. Is what? It is on the Tata bank, not in the river. Distinct from the river. So Tatastha stage points out the status of being alien, being separate, being distinct, being different. So that's what that Tatastha. So see Tatastha also, Tatastha Lakshana is that is a different thing. Tatastha Lakshana also is a different way. But here in parties etc. he is Tatastha. Means what? Who doesn't take any side. So that way a distinct, different as such. So here it is distinct. That is Tatastha is state of Bhuma being alien to Atma. I am there and this entire Jagat other than me is what? Bhuma. But I am different from Bhuma. That is what? Tatastha vinivrittai. To remove that notion. So what is done? So Asau. Asau means this Bhuma. Asau already there. Asau Bhuma. So Sarva Dikshu Ahankarena Anusandheyaha. So the Bhuma Sarva Dikshu, the Bhuma in terms of Asti, Bhana, Priti or Satchidanand, that everywhere is what? Ahankarena, as I, Anusandheyaha, appreciate. Bhuma that is everywhere is what? Is verily who? Me only. I only, that is Ahankara. Ahankarena means as I. So Anusandheyaha has to be appreciated. How it is to be appreciated is now demonstrated. That Bhuma being Sarvatma, this, see, Jagat is Bhuma was pointed out. Our Deha is in Jagat or outside Jagat. Part and parcel of Jagat. Therefore, Deha also is what? Bhuma. Ahankar, even the notion that I am the body also is what? Bhuma, because there also Satchit, Ananda, Asti, Bhana, Priya aspect are there in the embodiment also. So that is being pointed out. Santeva Satchidananda Deha Deshvapi Bhyavat. Santeva Satchidananda Deha Deshvapi Bhyavat. Bhuma Hankara Yogyo Toham Sarvamiti Vashraye. Bhuma Hankara Yogyo Toham Sarvamiti Vashraye. Bhyavat Dehadishu Api Satchidanandaha Santi Eva. Ataha Bhuma add Api Ahankara Yogyaha Aham. After Ataha add Dehavat. Ataha, then add Dehavat. Bhuma api ahankara yogya. Sarvam aham sarvam iti va ashraye. Aham sarvam iti va ashraye. Bhyavat, as found externally. Externally in what? In the entire Jagat. So, as in the case of external Jagat. When you say external, what is the point of reference? Bahya Jagat, outside Jagat. What is the point of reference? Body. With respect to our body, outside the body. So that is Bahya Jagat. So Bhyavat Dehadishu Api, in the case of our each and everyone's embodiment, Adi. Adi stands for Indriya, Prana, Mana, Antakarna, all these are included in the Adishu Api. Even in the case of the body, sense organs, organs of action, pranas, Antakarna, psyche, in the case of all these, Satchidanandaha Santi Eva. Satchidanandas are there. Why? Asti Bhati Priyam is applicable to entire creation, including our body. So therefore, that Sattva Bhana Priti or Asti Bhati Priya or what is called here Satchidananda are verily there. And Satchidananda is what? Bhuma. So therefore, what we consider as I also is what? Bhuma only. Ataha, therefore, Dehavat Bhuma Ahankara Yogyaha. Dehavat Bhuma Api. So, presently what we take? Body as I you take or not? You see, you take body as I, but that body itself is nothing but Satchidananda Bhuma. Therefore what? Bhuma also is what? I. So therefore it says, Bhuma ahankara yogya is fit to be taken. Ahankara yogya means is fit to be taken as what? I. Why? Entire Jagat is Bhuma. Deha is part and parcel of Jagat. So therefore Asti Bhati Priya Satchidananda is also in the Deha. That Deha you take as I. Likewise, it's what? Its content is nothing but Satchit Anda. That has to be taken as what? I only. Or this is one way. Now the other way, ulta way. What is that? Va is there. Aham sarvam iti va ashrayet. Or you take me as everything. How? See, me as Satchidananda pointed out. Satchidananda is everything, Bhuma, and therefore what? Me is what? Bhuma. So therefore, that is aham, me, sarvam. How you are sarvam? How is it possible? Because if me is Bhuma Satchidananda is everything, therefore me is what? Everything. Problem comes because we have not thrashed me. Our me is where confined? Body. That is why we suffer. That is why we suffer. All sadhanas given for different people at the different level of their development is to get rid of what? This erroneous notion that body is me, to get rid of the deha bhranti. Even gopis who are totally immersed in this thing, they didn't know anything other than what? Krishna. You know, once that there was a custom among the gopis. Lord Krishna has left, once he left Vrindavan, he has never returned. And like today, STD facilities also were not available. Were not available to say, how are you, etc., etc. So their custom was, they used to go to Nanda's house every day evening to light the lamp. No electricity, okay? And they used to bring that lamp and they light the house, in the other lamps, etc. And they used to be stand in queue. One that means newly wedded daughter-in-law had come in someone's house. She had heard about Krishna, but she had not seen Krishna. But always the mind is Krishna, 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 Krishna. So their lamp was there. So everyone was there and they were lighting the lamp and going. She went and she lit the lamp. And others was not that very alert. They were in the queue only as such. After some time, Yashoda came running from the house. She smelled something that like a flesh is being burned. She came running and she sees what? This gopi lighting the lamp, actually the hand is burning. And she pushed her out. Then she came to senses. Hey, what are you doing? You know what was that? I was seeing Krishna there. She was not aware of the body. See, the hand is being burnt. She is not aware of the body. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. For Gopi, there was nothing other than Krishna. Where is the body identification? You call Krishna, you call Brahma, you call Atma. Principle is one and the same as such. The names differ, the stuff is one and the same. So that's how. So therefore, says, whether Bhuma also one and the same principle is such. But if you confine Krishna to the Nama Rupa, then what will happen? It will be there, different from Vishnu, different from this Rama. Like Hanuman, he will not admit even Krishna. Rama only. See, Hanuman's devotion is not ordinary. Still it has got a flaw. You know that incident? Lord Rama had told Krishna, Hanuman, I will give you darshan in Dwapara Yuga. That was it. Hanuman has forgotten, but Rama didn't forget. And in Krishna Avatar, he sent Garuda, hey, call that old monkey there. So he went. He says, because Krishna has said, no, with all due respect, he said, Krishna is calling you. He said, tell, I am not coming. What Garuda can do? He came and reported. He said, I am not coming. Krishna said, go again. Tell him Rama is calling you. So again he went. Rama is calling you, he said. Okay, he was ready to come, but Garuda, see, when Bhagavan does something, he accomplishes many things in one stroke. Okay, so he said, Garuda felt, after all, old monkey. He has to go to Dwaraka from such a remote Himalayan region. He is somewhere there. So he has to go this thing. I will offer him lift. Okay. But I'm very swift, is it not? Garuda, no, he has ego. No one is swift like me. So he said, can I help you? I will take you. He said, no, not necessary. You go. He said. And Garuda came. And he reported. He said, he'll come. Krishna said, he has come and gone. Why? What happened? Means Hanuman was more swift than Garuda, and he came, and Krishna, how he didn't give him darshan as Krishna. He gave him as what? Darshan as what? Rama and Sita. That is what he gave. So, but flaw. What is that? He will not recognize anyone other than Rama, even Krishna he will not recognize. That is not correct. Everything is what? Bhagavad Swarupa only. Anyway. So, therefore, now that I is what? That is what is Bhuma. That we say that identification with the body has to be removed. So, everything is nothing but Bhagavad Swarupa. You call Rama, you call Krishna, you call Govinda, you call Atma, you call Shiva, you call Brahma. Everything is Bhuma. Everything is one and the same. So, therefore, in the body also that is Aham Sarvamiti Va Ashray. Me, Bhuma, Satchidananda is everything. That way you have to look upon. So that Bhuma is something other than me, that notion goes. Now the question is, when you say I, is it not confined to this body? Huh? How do you say the thing that is confined to this body is everywhere? For which illustration is given. Let us see. Gruhaika deshe vasthaya sarvabhaumohamityasau Rajabhimanyate tadvat bhumahamiti no kutaha Asau Raja Gruhaika deshe avasthaya add api Sarvabhaumaha aham iti add yatha abhimanyate tadvat aham bhuma iti kutaha na u becomes no add bhavati. He said, why not possible? If this is possible, I can be bhuma also, everywhere. That is how illustration like this. Asau Raja, this king, who is a monarch, emperor. So, where is he? Gruhaika deshe, maybe palace, huge palace. But where does he occupy? What does he occupy? All palace does he occupy? No. In the palace, where is he found? In one room, however big it may be, on one chair or a cot, only maximum 6 feet. Is it not? Depending on his height, etc. And who is he? Sarvabhaumaha, overlord of entire kingdom, empire. So therefore, means, say, his rule is everywhere, is it not? So it means his presence is everywhere. So that is why he has got command over entire empire. So Gruhaika deshe avasthaya api. Maybe a huge palace, but what is he occupies only a corner, as it were, a part of that graha house, the palace. Avasthaya api, even though remaining, what does he consider? Sarvabhaumaha aham iti. He considers, I am who? Sarvabhauma. I am the overlord of this kingdom. So where is he? In a corner in the palace. So that is man abhimanyate yatha abhimate, just as this is considered so by the king, tadvat, in the same manner, aham bhuma, maybe I am abiding in this embodiment, but what? Everywhere. Just as space is abiding in a hall, but that space is what? Everywhere. So hall space can say, I am everywhere. But that hall space status came because of the limitation of the walls of the hall, not that space is only of the size of the hall. So also, abiding in the embodiment as I may appear to be, that is what? So I may appear to be this what? Confined, but really what? I am, that bhuma is everywhere. Why it should not be so? Na kutaha, kutaha nau bhavati. Why should not be? Certainly it has to be, it can be so. Again, further problem is there. What is that? Ahankara word is brought. What is ahankara generally? Body as I. How it can be? Bhuma. Good as by means, how limited I can be bhuma. No. You thrash that aham, and what is that is what? What remains is what? Chit Swarupa Sarvyapi Bhuma only. That is now the third mode of teaching, Atma Desha, teaching of Atma. Abhimanika me vedam bhuma tvattvamiti bhramam. Nirakartum sarvadikshu bhumno dneyam chidatmata. Idam bhumatmatvam abhimanikam eva iti bhramam nirakartum sarvadikshu bhumnaha chidatmata neyam. Idam bhumatvatvam. This, what is that? Bhuma as I. Taking bhuma as I what? Abhimanikam eva. It is a belief and not paramarthataha. Not the truth. See, body as I, is it true, real, or our wrong concept? Concept. We believe that body as I. And we believe to such an extent that body as I, even if someone points out you are not body, what will you say? Something wrong with this fellow. Is it not? Because that notion is so deeply ingrained in us that we refuse to think the body cannot be I. See, common sense I am telling you. Do you refer this body as mine or not? My body or I body you say. You may say body as I, but you never say I body. What you say? My body. What does simple grammar, what does it convey? When you say mine, that my thing is different from me or not? My shoes may be costing 7,999, but will you take it as I? My pup, my umbrella, don't take it, is it not? So my book. But the problem in the body, my body, we take it as what? I. Common sensitive. Again, I is all along in the waking, dream and deep sleep state. But is the body available in all the three states? See, don't say it was in sleep, it is lying on the cot, etc. Are you cognizing that? No. So body, why the sleep? In dream also is not available. Some dream body you have got. In sleep, neither the dream body nor the waking body is there. Still you continue to be there. Means what? You are a common denominator in the waking, dream and deep sleep state. But you play three roles. Assuming the gross body, you play the role of waker in the waking state, Jagrata. Assume the dream body or the exclusively subtle body operating, you assume the dreamer's role. Discarding these both in sleep what? As a one who sleeps. You are none of these but distinct from these, one because of which you are aware of this. So like this we can easily verify body cannot be I. So therefore it says, that abhimanikam eva, it's a belief like the body is I and not paramarthataha. Iti bhramam, this wrong notion, nirakartum, to dispel. So what is there? In all direction, Chaitanya Swarupa Bhuma alone is there, that is to be known. We'll see that. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Maheshaha Go Brahmanebhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanya Prithivi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahita Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om